Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Quincy. You're watching Winning with Quincy. And if this is your first time on my channel, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a valuable video. Now, today is going to be the sequel to the last video I uploaded. So if you haven't checked out that video, I'm going to leave a card at the top of this video. Click that card, go watch that first video, and then come back to this video, okay? So what we're going to do today is we're going to actually engage with the members that we actually got, and we're going to send them a message, okay? I'm going to also show you how to add random delays inside your bot so that you have a more human-like presence on Facebook. That way you're not picked up as a bot. We're also going to craft a message that we're going to send to every member, and we're going to add spin syntax to that message, okay? So you're not going to want to miss anything. You're going to want to watch all the way to the end. Let's hop right into my computer so I can show you everything. But before we get into that, would you like to make 100% instant commissions? Well, my #1 recommended opportunity is on fire right now. Newbies are crushing it, established marketers are crushing it, simply by taking action. Crystal took action and within 2 hours of joining made her first sale. This is hot, okay? Forbes estimates that the e-learning market will reach $325 billion by 2025. So many entrepreneurs are crushing it reselling digital products. Take action today and get your slice of that pie. Even if you haven't had success in the past, this system has massive duplication and leverage built into it. I mean, every sale has the potential to make additional sales for you. Take action today. Click the first link in the description. Alright, now let's get back to the tutorial. Alright, so now that we're in my computer, we're going to continue building the bot that we built in the last video. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do is we're going to want to create a new tab. So we're going to click on this plus sign and we are going to rename this tab Message and Like, okay? We'll rename the tab prior to Scrape members, and the first is going to be setup. Alright, so on message and likes, so the first thing we're going to want to do is drag our set proxy command here, and then what we want to do is the last thing we did on the Scrape members tab is we saved our file. So just in case we actually are starting over, what we're going to do is we're going to take the same file path, we're going to copy this, we'll hit OK, we'll go here, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a table, create table from file, and we're going to paste this actual file path here, and the table we're going to create is going to be our true member IDs. Alright, so that's the table that we're going to work with, and the first thing we are going to want to do is we are going to want to set up certain things, okay? So once again, what I'm going to do to make this easy is I'm going to just copy some commands from the previous bot that we made. So we're going to copy this UI stat monitor. We're going to put that here. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to define a command, okay? So we are going to define setup messages, and what we're going to do is we are going to make a couple variables. So we're going to set, and we're going to make some variables. We're going to do a like count, all right, and we're going to start this off at 0. Now we've already made this command, this variable, so we're going to drag it here, but we're going to set it to 0 because we want to start at the top of our list. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a loop. And this loop is actually going to build out our likes. Alright, so we're going to loop through 6 times. We're going to add an item to list. So we're going to add an item to list. It's going to be the likes. That's what we're going to call it. And we're going to add a variable. Alright, so we added the item to a list. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're just going to increment that like count. We're going to drag this variable down here. We're going to hit OK. We're going to have to drag these items into our loop. Drag our loop down here below the set row variable. And so let's run this so that we can see. So we'll pull up our debugger. And as you can see, for our likes, we've got 0 through 5. Alright, so you'll understand why I did that later on. Okay, so now what we want to do is create a table for our delays. So we're going to put random delays inside of our bot so that it's harder for Facebook to tell that we're actually using a bot. So what I have here is a Google spreadsheet, and I will link this in the description below. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to copy this to a CSV file, or what you can do is you can go up to File and then you can download as a CSV. Okay, the current sheet as a CSV, and these are going to be random delays in seconds. So you're going to go 30 seconds, 30.5 seconds, 45, all the way up to 10 minutes. Okay, we're going to have up to 10-minute delays inside of our bot. All right, so once you created this CSV, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to create a table from File, and then we're going to pick the location of that actual file. Okay, I already have my location, so I'm just going to paste it in here, but you pretty much find the location that you have, and the table that we want to create is going to be a new table, and we're going to call this random time. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to add list to list, and we are going to call this list random time. And what we want to add is drag a list from table, and the table is going to be our random time. We're going to do a column, and we're going to start at column 0. Okay, so we're going to hit OK there, hit OK here. Alright, we're going to run this, and what it's going to do is it's going to bring in our random times. Okay, and then what we want to do is add a list. Okay, so now we have a list and we have our table. Alright, so now what we want to do is we want to set a variable. And we're going to call this wait time. Alright, and in this wait time we are going to actually add a random list item. Okay, so the reason why we created this list is so that we can pick a random item from that list, and that list is actually going to be this random time. Okay, so when I pull up my debugger, this actual variable wait time will vary every time I hit it. Okay, so when I run this node, boom, it's going to be 30 seconds. Then I run it again, it's going to be something else, 415, boom, 350. So every time this actual variable is set, it's going to be a random time, so it's going to have a random delay. Alright, and the next thing we want to do is actually set our username. Okay, so in the last video we created a list of each one of these individuals. We got their name, their user ID, their location. So now we're going to set a variable for that actual member's name. Okay, so username, and we're going to drag in our table cell. Alright, we're going to drag in our table cell from here. We're going to pull up our debugger, and we are going to look at the actual table that we had. Okay, so this table has the member's username, their name, and where they're from. Okay, so we want this table, which is the member true IDs, and column number 1. Remember, our row is going to be a variable. So our member true IDs, our row is going to be our variable, and our column is going to be 1. Alright, now we're going to clean this up a little bit. We're going to go to our debugger. Alright, so the name has the first and last name. Now when we're on social media, we don't address people by their first and last name. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up and then add this list back into here. Okay, so what we want to do is we are going to open up our Excel file. What we're going to do is we are going to take this column. All right, we're going to put this data back, but what we're going to do is we're going to cut it real quick, take it outside, insert this column, and then what we want to do is we want to take out all of the last names. So you go to your data column, and what you want to do is you want to do text to columns. You want to make sure this is delimited. We're going to hit next. We want a space. Deselect tab, hit next, hit finish, and now we just have first names. Okay, then delete all of this. Alright, cut this and put it back in B. We're going to insert the cell, and now everything is in the right location. We're going to save this and then get back out of here. Okay, alright, now we can see our table has the old information. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to clear a table, and we're going to do a member true IDs. We're going to clear this, pull up our debugger, and as you can see, nothing is here. So then when we run this, now our edits are correct. Okay, so now when we have our first name, the name that we're going to address them by is going to be just their first name. Alright, so we have set our variables. Now it's time to get to work. Alright, now it's time to get busy. You cannot run a defined command. So what you have to do is actually drag this custom command that you actually just created either below or above the actual definition. So really, if I wanted to clean this up, I could copy this and put it in my setup tab. Now I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have to go through and edit and blur out all of my information that I put up in that setup tab. It just takes a long time, so I'm not going to do that, but you can do that. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually build out the process to actually like and engage with these individuals and send them a message. We're going to put the random delays in there. We're going to address them by their name, and I'm going to also show you how to use spin syntax. A lot of you guys have reached out to me personally, asked me to show you how to do spin syntax, so I'm giving it to you. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to create a loop, and the number of cycles is going to be the total amount of rows that we have in our table. Alright, alright, and then our table is going to be the member true IDs. We're going to hit OK, and now what we're going to do is we're going to navigate, and we are going to navigate to a table cell. And that table is going to be our member true IDs, going to be the variable, and the column, we're going to look inside of our debugger, and the column is going to be 0. Okay, so the column is It's going to be 0. Hit OK here. Let's just run this. So we just went to Jay Rubio's actual page, and what we want to do is we're going to want to scroll down his page, like a random post that he has, engage with him, just so Facebook shows that we photo his video before we send him a message. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to enter in that JavaScript that we entered in the last time. Okay, so once again, we're going to do a run JavaScript command, and inside of this we can paste the actual code that we had. But once again, it's going to be window.scroll2, open up your parentheses, 0, comma, document, period, body, period, scroll, height, close your parentheses, semicolon. Okay, then we hit OK. We're going to run that, and it scrolls down. All right, now what we're going to do is we are going to like a random comment. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the like count. Okay, so we're going to drag this here, and what we want is a random list item, and in that list is going to be our likes. All right, so we're going to have a random like. Let's scroll back up here and do a UI stat monitor so that you can see this. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it likes, and the content to track is going to be the like count. Alright, so let's scroll down here, and before we run this set variable, you can see that the likes actually has a little glitch there, but when we run this, you'll see it change to a number. Alright, and then it'll change to another number. Now I know it just changed from 3 to 4, but it is random. Okay, every time we run this, it's going to be random. Okay, so we're going to go up here, we're going to create a click command, and we're going to click on these green arrows. We're going to select the like button. Alright, now you notice that the element is a class. Right, you always want to make sure that there is a class there, and now the offset is what we are going to make a variable. Now the offset pretty much determines the position on the page. Okay, right now it's set to 1. Now if we scroll to the top and then select this like button, you're going to see the offset change. It's going to go from 1 to 0. Alright, and the second post is going to be 1. So you see that? Alright, the third post is going to be 2, and so on and so on and so on. Alright, so we're going to make this offset a variable. Alright, so we're going to go edit this, we're going to delete this, we're going to click over here in the variables and drag our like count down here. Going to hit OK. And now we're going to see this in action. Okay, so we're going to scroll up here, and I'm going to find the 4th post. Alright, here we go. Now when I run this click command, it's going to select this like button. Don't you doubt me. Don't you doubt me. Watch. Awesome! Told you. Never doubt your boy. Alright, so we're going to put a couple random delays into our bot, and the way that we are going to do that is we are going to actually drag in our set command that we have up here for our wait time. We're going to copy this, we're going to bring that down inside of here, we're going to paste this. Okay, and then we are going to actually put our wait. We are going to wait. Alright, and in here we're going to put our wait time variable. So bam, we're putting that here. Alright, so let's scroll back up here. Let's do a UI stat command. Alright, we're going to do a stat monitor, and wait time. Content to track is going to be this variable. So the amount of time we're going to wait is 153 seconds. Okay, so that's going to be just over 2.5 minutes. All right, we're going to wait that amount of time, but we're not really going to do that as we're going through here. The next thing we're going to want to do is actually click on his message button. Okay, so we're going to want to click here. We can actually drag that. Sometimes we can actually drag that here. Right now you see that this has an ID. Now if I were to go to another individual's page, let's go to someone that's commented. Let's click on the green arrows here. Let's go to message. You see how that ID changes? All right, we want the class. We don't want it to change. We click on the gears icon, we go to attribute, we go to class. All right, now this is the class. We want it to be an exact match. We click OK. Now if we go back to Jay's profile, yes, finish up what we're doing. If we go back to Jay's profile, and what we do is we click on the message, boom, it comes up. Now if we go to a random person, do the same thing, boom, we can message that individual. You always want the class, right? Hopefully that makes sense to you. Make sure you have the class when you're clicking on that if you want something to stay constant on Facebook. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put a wait for element in here. Wait for element. All right, and the element that we actually want to wait for is going to be the actual box that pops up. So let me just click on the message. All right, and then what we want to do is we want to go here. We're going to actually select the actual text box and see we have the class now. All right, click OK. All right, now in some instances there is going to be a pop-up. I think in some of my videos you guys have seen this thing, and so if we want to get rid of that, what we're going to do is we're going to click on this. Okay, so now if this actual window pops up by us clicking on that message, all right, what we want to do is put an if statement in here. If exists, okay? If this exists, we're going to click on our green arrows, click on this select your language. It has an ID. We want the class. Click on the gears, go to attribute, go to class, click OK. So if this thing exists, okay, then we want to click on close. So let's scroll down here. Element, we want to click on close. We have the class, we're all right. Then we go okay. We don't want to put anything on in the else. Now let's run this. Booyah. All right. Now the message, it has popped up, and so what we're gonna do is we're gonna send him a message. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we can either drag this. Sometimes we can drag this, or we can just go to type text. Okay, so we're gonna go type text. We're gonna drag this outside of the if command. All right, hit our green arrows. We're gonna select the message box. All right, and the text to type is actually going to be a spin. So we're gonna spin a message. All right, so the message that I want to actually send to him is going to be something along the lines of this message. Okay? Now, you want to write the message that you want to send to the individual out first, and then we're going to spin it. Okay? So I have the first name here as a placeholder because we're going to actually put a variable right there. But right before hello, we're going to open up with these curly brackets. Okay, we want the hello comma. All right, right after the comma we're going to do the straight pipe command. All right, then we're going to do a lowercase hello, then we're going to do the pipe, then we're going to do hey. Then we're going to do the pipe. Then we're going to do lowercase hey. All right. We're going to go back through here and we're going to put our commas in here. All right. And then we want to close with those curly brackets. All right. Hey, first name. Now I don't want. We're going to actually delete all of these commas. All right. First name, comma. I hope all is well. All right. We're going to start out. We're going to open this and we're going to say something like lowercase I hope all is well, period. And we're going to close that. I notice we are in some of the same groups. All right, we're going to open up with the curly brackets. Then after the exclamation point, we're going to do a pipe. Then I'm going to say, we are in some of the same groups. Exclamation point. Pipe command. Then I'm going to say, I see we are in some of the same groups. Exclamation point. Pipe. I just noticed we are in some of the same groups. Exclamation point. I see. I hope that you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just tweaking each one of these things so that I'm saying the same thing, just slightly different. All right. And then we're going to close this. I created a bot that sent this message to you. We're going to open this up. I created a bot. Pipe command. I just bot, close that. That sent this message to you. Open this up. It has pipe. It's close this up. Change the way I mark it on Facebook. All right, let's open this up. Pipe command. It's close this. If you would like to see how I built it, open this up. Check out my YouTube video. Open up the pipe. All right. So we have now added spin syntax so that every time we send this message, it says a different thing. All right. So we're going to copy this. And Jay, if you're watching this, sorry, it's just random, but hopefully you get some value from it. If you do, bro, like this video. So now what we're going to do is, we're going to place this into the spin. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to select this first name. We're going to delete that. And then we're going to put this username variable right here. All right. So then we're going to hit OK. Now, I might be giving you a little bit of game on how I've grown my YouTube channel, but are you going to use it? All right, so now that we have that, we're gonna just run this, and as you can see, it has. We kind of messed up a little bit here because we have this pipe in here. All right, so let's go back. Let's edit this message. Hello. Oh, we got to get rid of this pipe outside of here. All right, let's copy this. Go back into the spin, edit this, Or let's just actually edit this and delete that. So we're gonna delete that. Then we're gonna hit OK. OK. We're gonna copy this, all of this, and delete this. Okay. Then we're gonna run this one more time. So as you can see, hey Jay, I hope all is well. I noticed we're in some of the same groups. I created a bot that sent this message to you. It is automated the way I market on Facebook. If you'd like to see how I built it, check this out. And I give him my video. All right. So just to show you that we're gonna spin this a little bit. We're gonna delete all this. All right. We're gonna put it back in here. Booyah. And it says it just a little bit different. Hey Jay, I hope all is well. I see we're in some of the same groups. I just created a bot that sent this message to you. It's changed the way I market on Facebook. If you would like to see how I built it, watch this video. I'm gonna click on this little, airplane. So we're gonna go click. We are going to click there. And do you see something wrong with this? Do you see something wrong with this? We need the class. So click on the gears, go under attributes, select class. So this is the class that we're actually looking for. Then we hit OK. All right, we go run node, and boom, that message has been sent to Jay. All right, now that we've sent a message, what we want to do is note it inside of our table that we've sent a message to that individual. All right, so just so we delay the bot just a little bit, because sometimes when you run this spin, it takes a little bit to actually state in the message. So we're gonna just delay the bot a little bit. All right, we're gonna delay this by 3/4 of a second. And then what we want to do is we want to set a variable. This is going to be sent message. And what we want to do is say sent. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to add item. We want to add an item to list. We're going to call this sent messages. And the item to add is going to be this variable we just created. Then we're going to add a list to table as a column. And the column that the table we're going to add is going to be the member true IDs. All right. The row is going to be our variable. The column to add is going to be 3. And the list to add is going to be the sent messages. All right. Now we're going to just we're going to run these. And look at our debugger, and as you can see, it's sent. All right, now what we want to do is we're going to increment our row. We're going to increment our row, drag our variable in here, hit OK. Then we're going to set our username. So we want to set this after you've incremented the row so that the name changes. Okay, so we'll set that, and then what we want to do is we want to clear our list. This is very important because you don't want to keep building up a list and then adding that to your table, and you have 9 items, so it's actually throwing off your table. All right, so clear your sent messages list. We're going to hit OK. And then we want to save our file. Save the file. Alright, now we can scroll back up here and copy everything in here so that we just save over that file, and the content to save is going to be the table, our true IDs, true member IDs. Okay, so bam. Alright, one thing that I want to show you is this username. So we're going to go back up here, we're going to create a UI stat monitor, and we're going to monitor the username. I'm going to drag this into content to save, and right now it should say J. Alright, once we increment this row, bam, then we set the name, it's going to be the next guy. Then we're going to clear our list, and we're going to save the file. Now, when the loop resets and we go navigate, guess whose name's going to pop up? We're going to go to Roberts. All right. Now we're going to just we're going to run these and look at our debugger. And as you can see, it's sent. All right. Now what we want to do is we're going to increment our row. We're going to increment our row. Drag our variable in here. Hit OK. Then we're going to set our username. So we want to set this after you've incremented the row so that the name changes. Okay, so we'll set that, and then what we want to do is we want to clear our list. This is very important because you don't want to keep building up a list and then adding that to your table, and you have 9 items, so it's actually throwing off your table. All right, so clear your sent messages list. We're gonna hit OK, and then we want to save our file. Save the file. Alright, now we can scroll back up here and copy everything in here so that we just save over that file, and the content to save is going to be the table, our true IDs, true member IDs. Okay, so bam. Alright, one thing that I want to show you is this username. So we're going to go back up here, we're going to create a UI stat monitor, and we're going to monitor the username. I'm going to drag this into content to save, and right now it should say J. Alright, once we increment this row, bam, then we set the name, it's going to be the next guy. Then we're going to clear our list, and we're going to save the file. Now, when the loop resets and we go navigate, guess whose name's going to pop up? We're going to go to Roberts. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so in this video and the one before it, I showed you how to develop a targeted list of Facebook users using Facebook groups and Ubot Studio. Okay, we've gotten members' data. I've shown you how to actually get additional information using Ubot Studio. We've shown you how to engage with these individuals and how to send a message. Okay, I've shown you how to use spin syntax in order to put some randomization in the messages that you're sending. That way you can send a message with this bot and have it say different things every single time. So if you've gotten any value from this video, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, select that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a valuable video, and I'll see you on the next one.
Trendsetter, I got style for you. Ain't seen you at the top, it's been a while for you. big you up and they look down on you. Take one loss, no one's around for you. I won't stop, no, 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 no. I won't stop, I won't stop.